All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Dax. This is a new channel that we're starting here on YouTube. It's called Trash Talk. We're going to be able to talk about all sports, all teams. We're going to get to some breaking news and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about me. As you see right here, I'm repping my dogs. All right. So we down here in Atlanta. This is gonna be really cool for me. This is my first video, so I was able to, kind of just put it on. And so what we're gonna do is you guys will be able to chime in on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know if you got any questions or anything like that. So what we'll do is today we're going to go over NFL playoffs. We're going to talk just a little bit of basketball, and then we're going to get into this McGregor and Poirier fight that we got going on tonight at 10. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Usually I bring you a little bit more. So let's go ahead and jump on into it now. So we're going to start with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. It's the third straight time that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be hosting this game at their house. So remember that they've won one of them, and then they lost the first one to the Patriots. That's when Tom Brady and Gronk was still doing their thing. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this game. Kansas City won the game earlier this year, 26-17. So we know that these teams are familiar with each other. They've already played, so they know what they're coming with. So we'll go ahead and jump in. Pat Mahomes is cleared. We all know that. So he's not in concussion protocol anymore. He will play on Sunday. They have Breland that was cleared as well. So that cornerback for the Chiefs, he will be playing as well. So the Buffalo Bills don't really have that many people that are going to be out, maybe like COVID or anything like that. I'll jump in later to see if there's any extra people that may. Josh Allen had a pick. Pat Mahomes he didn't have as many yards because the Buffalo Bills came in with a game plan of, we're not going to let you throw the ball, but you're going to be able to, we'll take the run all you want, but you're just not going to be able to just toss it down the field. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire finished with 161 on 26 carries, and then Pat Mahomes only had 225 for 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to tell you that just like everybody else, I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. I know that the Bills have been, kind of like proving it to the world type thing, which is cool, but I'm going to tell you why. All right. First of all, I will recognize that it is hard to beat the same team twice. Okay. So I will give the Bills that. But the reason why I'm picking the Chiefs in this game is because the Chiefs, are playing excellent football. Okay, you've seen the level of football increase since the regular season. A lot of people were wondering, like, are they playing bored or, like what's going on? So, and I see this game that they fought against with the Browns with a backup quarterback. And of course, you got to give everything to Chad Henne. Chad Henne came in and he did his job. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Keep the pressure on, don't lose the game. All right. And that's exactly what he did. So, the Bills are coming in hot, okay? They beat the Colts. They beat the Ravens. They feel like they got something to prove. But I'm going to tell you this, okay? First of all, even though there's not going to be a whole stadium of fans, all right, home field advantage means everything, okay? Those fans are going to be loud in Kansas City. It's going to be rocking in Kansas City. Pat Mahomes is going to play. He will be throwing the ball across the yard because, they already know that the Bills are going to try to limit the passing game. So if they're going to try to limit the passing game, you already know that Andy Reid and my man Eric Bieniemy, which should have a job by now, let me just go ahead and say that. But that's for another topic. You know that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are going to come with a plan to be able to say, okay, you know what? We have to figure out how we're going to get Tyreek Hill the football, how we're going to get Travis Kelce the football, just the same exact way that they did when they were against the Browns. Okay, so as we look back to what happened into the old game, Stephon Diggs had six receptions for 46 yards. Okay, so the Chiefs played a very excellent game when it came to limiting Stephon Diggs and being able to kind of shift that up. Now, they also had their running back at that time. They don't have their running back in Zach Moss, so which they've been able to still kind of maintain, but their running game isn't there. Okay, and we all know to win football games, you got to be able to run the football. All right, and that's what was able to help the Chiefs win against the Browns is running game. They were still able to pop off big runs and get first downs. Le'Veon Bell was back there. His name is slipping my mind. Number 31, Williams. He was back there. They were continuously pounding the football. Now, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. He wasn't playing against the Browns, but they were able to continue that running game, right? So the Bills have struggled in the running game all the way up until this point, okay? So without a running game and without you being able to have that added pressure of if you're going to run, if you're going to pass, we already know that you can't run, you're going to pass the ball. And that's what they did earlier this season when it came to them, and Stephon Diggs and all that stuff. So I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win. I don't ever want to pick a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to look something like it did, last week, where they're trying to drive the field and make it happen. But that's what I'm going with on that. So then we'll go ahead and we'll jump over to Packers and the Buccaneers. Sorry, my cat's going crazy. I don't know what's going on. So we got Packers, we got Buccaneers, and it's going to be a good game. I cannot wait to see this game. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers played an excellent game against the Saints. They came back when they were down, and they were able to keep their foot on the gas and just keep going, and they ended up winning a fantastic game in New Orleans. And then the Packers are just playing unbelievable. Okay, Green Bay is probably, to me, the most complete team in the playoffs right now. Okay, when you add Aaron Rodgers and how he's playing, Devontae Adams and how he's playing, and then they got the two-headed monster and the running back position of Aaron Jones and his successor. Like, it was insane to sit there and watch Aaron Rodgers pick apart the Rams, even though we know that there were problems with the Rams. They didn't have Aaron Donald that was strong, so he wasn't able to continue to put that pressure on. Then you also had Jalen Ramsey was kind of struggling keeping up with Devontae Adams, and we all know how it started with the play. He was running out to the sideline, which honestly, the cornerback should have pulled off and helped Jalen Ramsey, but at the same time, Jalen just couldn't keep up with Devontae. Devontae was eating him up all game, okay? So with all of that added on to this, you take this and match this up with the Buccaneers defense. Now, the Buccaneers did win the early game in the season earlier this year. They won 38-10, and that's when we had the linebacker, Devin White, that was like, they don't even belong on the field with us. It was a real, punch in the mouth when it came to them playing down in Tampa. But this is going to be a different game. This is going to be a different atmosphere. It's going to be in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. You taking, them boys out of Tampa where it's probably still 80-something degrees down there. So it's going to be a lot different when it comes to the outlook of what the game is going to be. But the Packers are clearly better than they were, and they were playing better than they were in that game than they played earlier this season. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through some of the stats real quick. So Aaron Rodgers, he had 2 interceptions, and he only had 160. Tom Brady had 166 for 2 touchdowns, and that's your difference right there. Aaron Rodgers didn't throw for a touchdown pass, but Tom Brady threw for 2. Ronald Jones had 113 yards rushing, and Jamal Williams only had 34. So that's that's my Ring doorbell. But so you had an all-out overall better performance on offense when it came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to run the ball. They were also able to pass the ball, but they were able to play good defense on the defensive side because Devontae Adams only had six receptions for 61 yards. So they completely shut down the Packers offense. Now, what's making you say that, oh, well, why can't they just do that again? You also have to look at the fact that the Packers defense is playing a lot better than they were at that point too. The Packers defense last week against the Saints, they were not the Saints. I'm sorry. I'm going nuts. Against the Rams, they were able to completely shut down anything that, the Rams had going on. Granted, I know that Jared Goff had the thumb issue, but Jared Goff still had some really good passes that were coming out of his hand. Towards the end, when he really started trying to hurry up and get the ball out, like he had some real good throws. So Jared Goff wasn't just, going out there with a bum thumb and it's like, oh, that's the reason why they lost. The Packers were able to keep pressure on the quarterback and they were able to play real good defense in the defensive backfield. Okay, so when we look at that, we look at the difference that they played when they played against the Rams and then the difference that they're playing on offense when they played against the Rams. You combine that to what happened last time they played, and now when you got Tampa's a totally different offense too. Okay, now you do have to give respect to Tom Brady because Tom Brady is playing like playoff Tom Brady that we saw in New England. Okay, Tom Brady was playing lights out against the Saints. Okay, he came up and they were down for a little while. They kept even. The Saints defense was playing really strong, but the offense just couldn't score. It seemed like something was wrong with the offense. They were confused at times. So it was just to a point to where Tom Brady was able to pull it off, and they were able to just keep their foot down and just keep going. All right. So in this game, Green Bay and the Buccaneers, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Packers at home. The Packers have been phenomenal, coming after that game and continuously getting better throughout the season. We saw that against the Rams. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Packers. I think it's going to be really, really close. I think this one will be closer than the AFC Championship game, to be honest, in my opinion. I think Tom Brady also has a really good game. I think the difference in this game when it comes to Green Bay and Tampa, you got to remember, okay, you have Antonio Brown that's going to be out for the Buccaneers, okay? You can't take the top off of the defense without Antonio Brown, okay? Chris Godwin has had troubles catching the football. Mike Evans will be out there for a couple of plays, and then he's hurt for some reason, or he's got to come off the field. It kind of reminds me of Julio Jones here in Atlanta. It's like, why is our best player not out on the field, when this is a very important down, okay? So without Antonio Brown being able to take the top off the defense and just continue to roll, that's going to add added pressure on Tom Brady. But we do know that he still has Gronk and he still has amazing running backs back there. So it's going to be a very, very good game. I think in the end, the Packers defense comes out there and they play like they have been. And I think the Packers defense is going to be able to hold them to a victory and send them to the Super Bowl. Okay, so my Super Bowl pick, Packers Chiefs. Either way, it's going to be a really good game. And they'll be down there in Miami. Not Miami. Where's the Super Bowl at? I'm wrong. Miami was last year. Somebody tell me where the Super Bowl is this year. I'm screwing that up. But I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be amazing. And, that's just it. So I gotta chime in here. So somebody, let's see. Boom. All right, so Chiefs Kingdom is saying, why do I think it's going to be close? Why do I think it's going to be close? All right, man, I appreciate you for asking. So I think it's going to be close because I really don't expect the Chiefs to just come out there and just throw the ball around and jump up by 3 touchdowns, and that's just the end of the game, and it's just one of those things. Now, if the game ends up, in the defensive hands like it did when Browns played the Steelers, when you got a fumble that goes over the head and then you score a touchdown, and then after that it's just like it's a rolling snowball of effects that just keeps going down, then yes. But nobody can predict that, okay? So reason why I think the Chiefs and Bills game, and the Bills are nobody to joke around with. The Bills are a very good football team. The reason they're here is because of how they've played until this season. All right. Now, last week, I picked the Bills to lose to the Ravens. And shout out to Bills Mafia. You guys were able to pull it off. But I picked them to lose to the Ravens because of how I saw them play against the Colts. Okay. The Colts, if they would have had a little bit of some luck, maybe go their way. And if they would have had a little bit, no pun intended, on the luck. But if they would have had a little bit, if the ball wouldn't have been, if the guy wouldn't have fumbled the ball, or, there was just a bunch of unfortunate stuff that happened for the Colts in that very last drive that they ran out of time and they just couldn't win the game. So in my opinion, I felt like, maybe the Bills just aren't there yet, but the Bills are a very serious team. Okay. I just don't know if the Bills are serious enough to beat the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs going to back-to-back Super Bowls, that's very, very possible, okay? And Andy Reid has done an amazing job, and I think Eric Bieniemy has done an amazing job. Eric Bieniemy, despite this being a Andy Reid coach team, and everybody knows that Andy Reid is an offensive guru, and he's one of the best offensive coaches you could probably say ever to coach this game. It's just kind of difficult to know, is it more Bieniemy or is it more Andy Reid, right? So we'll go through that, but I still think that it's going to be a close game, Chiefs over Bills. All right, so we're going to jump into a little bit of the NBA, and we'll go ahead and get to NBA, and then after that we're going to get into the McGregor and Poirier fight. So tonight, we got some games going on tonight. We have Philly and Detroit, Miami and Brooklyn. I am a Miami Heat fan, okay? I'm a Miami Heat fan. A lot of people say, hey, man, why you ain't a Hawks fan? I have never liked the Hawks, okay? I respect the Hawks for what they're doing. Trae Young and John Collins and them are really starting to kind of, get a little bit of a better season going. They look a lot better than they did in the past. I just never liked them. But I don't know. I don't know how the Heat are gonna fare up against Brooklyn, man. They're kind of struggling right now, but we'll see what's happening. So we got New Orleans and Minnesota, Golden State and Utah, LA and Chicago. LA is just looking like they are trying to win another championship. And then you got Houston and Dallas and Denver and Phoenix. So that's going to be that. I mean, I know that a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going on with this whole Kyrie Irving situation. And for me, I want to dig into it, a little bit here. For me, I feel like, Kyrie wanted to leave Cleveland because he didn't want to be second fiddle to LeBron. Okay. Then he goes to, he comes to the Nets, and it's him and Kevin Durant. Well, Kevin Durant, I know he didn't leave right after Cleveland to go to the Nets, but I'm just, skipping ahead. But he comes to the Nets with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a fantastic basketball player, but he doesn't have to be that, I am Brooklyn, or I am, he's not that number one, persona type guy. Kevin Durant is okay with being the second, but he's just the best basketball player on the team. So it was okay with KD and Kyrie. I think with James Harden, because James Harden's got to be a one. James Harden's got to have the ball in his hand. Even though James Harden's been sharing really well, because last night when they played, James Harden had some sick passes to Kyrie, and Kyrie had a really good game. Okay, so when you get into that aspect of it, I feel like there's still a good way that Kyrie can go, and I feel like there's a lot of growth that can happen with this team. I still feel like they have a chance to do a lot, of good stuff. I know there's been, a lot of, Kyrie needs to, do this and Kyrie's this or whatever. I still feel like they have a really good chance in the East. And Brooklyn is going to be a dangerous team. So we'll get into a little bit. The Lakers and the Bulls. LeBron and AD, they've been playing fantastic this year. And I think that, of course, I think they continue. But it's crazy how the Lakers are able to turn around as quick as they were. Turn around as quick as they were off of winning a championship. They've only been out for about a month. So you have, you have that, and they're turning around and they're playing, some of the best basketball in the league. Okay. You got Philly and Detroit. I think Philly's gonna have their way with Detroit. Detroit, Detroit is just one of those teams. It's going to take a lot to fix that team and that organization. But Philly's been playing really good. So I'm gonna go through here and I'll pick the games for tonight. I got Philly over Detroit. Unfortunately, I got Brooklyn over Miami. Miami has been, they're kind of trying to put things together, and it's like, you're trying to, keep going off of because they're another one of those teams that played all the way until the end, and they've only had about a month, of like recovery. So, I think Miami's still kind of hurting a little bit, but I'm gonna pick Brooklyn over Miami, even though that's my guys. I am going to pick. I'm gonna pick Minnesota over the Pelicans. I know Minnesota hasn't really been playing that well this year, and I know Minnesota has. They do have. My boy Anthony Edwards, y'all already know, okay? But so I mean, I don't know. I think Minnesota is going to be able to compete. They just got to play better defense. That's just it in a nutshell. I got Utah over Golden State, Lakers over the Bulls. I'm gonna go Dallas over Houston, and then I'm gonna go Phoenix over Denver. Okay, it's going to be a real good game and a bunch of real good games tonight. But we all know that we got a lot going on tonight, and this is a very big weekend for us because not only do we have basketball going on, you got the playoffs going on this week, but then you got a little bit of fighting going on, right? So we got McGregor that's going to come back against Poirier. Now, look, I've never been a McGregor fan, okay? I know there's a lot of McGregor fans out there, and he deserves all the respect, that he gets. He's a very good fighter. This is the second time that these guys are going to fight. I'm going to pick McGregor in this one. I'm going to pick McGregor because he's been trying so hard to get back into it. And to just be able to get there. I feel like he comes in with something to prove. I feel like he ends it early, to be honest with you. But he comes in with something to prove, and he's ready to go. So I'm going to pick McGregor in this fight. UFC 257, it's on at 10 o'clock tonight. You guys all watch that. So then now real quick, we'll just go through with a little bit of rumor hill going on here. So rumor came out today that Deshaun Watson is planning on he wants to play for the Jets. They say his top two teams is number 1 Jets, number 2 Dolphins. That really doesn't mean anything besides the fact that he says that he wants to play there. But, that's just kind of where we are right now. So Deshaun Watson wanting to go to New York. Honestly, I'm not a Jets fan. I don't think that the Jets have really had that kind of I mean, they've just been awful for such a long period of time since the Bart Scott, we're going to the playoffs, can't wait, I mean, like, they've kind of just not been great, but this would be good for them. This would be good. And if they can draft correctly, and if you could get a team together, I mean, granted, is it the quarterback that's the problem? I mean, because a lot of people, which I'm not a Darnold fan, but a lot of people believe in Sam Darnold. A lot of people believe that Sam Darnold's not the issue in New York, okay? But some people do believe that he is the issue in New York. But, I mean, is Deshaun Watson better than Sam Darnold? Absolutely. But, it's just one of those things. Deshaun Watson put up MVP numbers this year. MVP numbers that were ignored because he played for such an awful team, okay? And the Texans have just demolished that team. They've demolished that whole entire franchise to where you even have his own teammates and his own players that are telling him, bro, get out of here. Go do your own thing. When Andre speaks up and tells him to leave, we all listen, okay? Because Andre played his whole entire career with the Texans, and Andre could have been one of those. He's in that same exact category of one of the best to play the game, and he was just wasted by a bad franchise. So we don't, Deshaun knows that, and he doesn't want that for himself. So of course he's going to try to get out. Now, whether or not he comes back, whether or not they can pay him, or if they hire Bieniemy, whatever they could do, I don't know if that's going to help them right now to be able to go even further, and trying to get him to come back to Houston. Right now, I think he's just too far out. But that's just it. So then we'll also talk a little bit about, now I know you guys heard the new coach, Coach Dan up in Detroit, talk about biting off kneecaps. And I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun interview. I thought it was I like his energy. I can't lie. I like his energy. I know it's kind of weird and people are like biting off kneecaps. But if you ever been in a game, and I know he wasn't necessarily talking to fans, and he wasn't necessarily talking to the media. He was talking to his team. He was talking to his players. He was talking to the people that matters, and actually like what's going to happen. And, that's one of those run through a brick wall type speeches. I think he did an excellent job. Now, what is he going to be able to do in Detroit? I don't really know. Hopefully, with their new general manager and a combination of him, that they'll be able to kind of resurrect it. But that's like Detroit's like the last, bad team that, needs to have a resurgence or a better, time. Like the Browns have come up. The Jags had their little year. The Titans came up, so that's just kind of how, that whole scenario has worked, So that's pretty much all I got for right now, guys. So we're going to try to do this over and over and over, get more and more and get bigger. And hopefully we can, reach all of you guys out there and try to have, as much information as possible that I can have for you guys. Again, I'm Dax. You guys can reach me on Instagram at Dax_boy_Dax. Okay, Dax DATS _boy BOY BOI _DAX. Okay, that's me on Instagram, and then it's at Dax Sports Talk on Twitter. Like, subscribe, give me some love. I appreciate every single one of y'all. The more and more that we do this, the better and better we're gonna get. This is fun. This is what I love to do. I love to talk about sports. I talk about sports all the time. Everybody always tell me, yo, D, you talk about sports all the time. You love talking about sports. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've always wanted to do it. So this is a platform of me to be able to get on here and talk about it. The more and more that we have to talk about, the more and more that I'll be on here. I'll post videos on Instagram. I'll post videos on Twitter. Of course, I'll come on here. So follow, like, subscribe, love, everything love. Appreciate y'all. Be blessed.